Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Zero Excuses podcast. My name is Kenyon. Got another value-packed episode lined up for you guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in to today's show. You know, one of the biggest questions or most commonly asked questions that I get pertains to what books I read, looking for some book recommendations. So what I thought I would do with this episode today is highlight 3 of the top books that I've read here in 2018 and break them down for you and let you know what benefit I personally got out of them. And these 3 particular books are books that I actually keep in my my work bag, and I take them with me most places that I go because I love having these 3 books as a reference. But before we get into today's show, have some very, very quick reminders. If you haven't already done so, would appreciate it if you went over to iTunes at kenyonziska.com/iTunes and subscribe, rate, and leave us a review over there. And also, while you're at it, if you know someone who needs to hear the messages we're sharing here on the show, would appreciate you sharing the show with anybody who would get some benefit out of it. And I also appreciate those who have already taken the time to leave us a good rating and review. I think we're up to close to 40, if not over 40, 5-star reviews. So appreciate everyone who has taken the time to do that. And also, I will have links to purchase these books if these are piquing your interest in the show notes. And also, I do have a Amazon influencer shop, and I have compiled every single book that I have read up to this point in that shop. You can just head on over to kenyonziska.com/resources, and there's a link to that shop in there if you're interested in checking out any other books that I have read. And also on that page, I have some other resources that I personally use and have set up an affiliate relationship with. So if you're interested in supporting the show, that is a good way for you to do that. I know I don't try and plug this too often, but the show does cost a little bit of money to keep going each and every week. And if you're interested in supporting me in a very small way, would appreciate you checking those resources out. All right. Enough on that. Let's hop into my top 3 books that I've read this year. So probably the number 1 book that I've read this year, I would have to say by and large, is Principles by Ray Dalio. If you've never heard of Ray Dalio, he is the founder of Bridgewater, one of the world's most largest hedge funds. And the reason why I absolutely love this book is he really has engineered a solid structure for his business, and he lays it out in epic detail in this book. It actually took me several months to get through it. It was thick, it was heavy, it was laden with just some solid knowledge, and I have really applied many of the principles that he lays out in his book to improve the quality of the content that you're hearing right now, the amount of areas and places that I am able to extend the reach of my content, and I really think that this book has been pivotal in reducing the amount of stress around me being able to do that, because the way he structures it, just the biggest concept that I took out of it was the concept of building a machine. For example, I built a machine on paper, not a physical machine, to streamline my content generating processes here for the podcast and my live videos on Facebook and whatnot. So I highly, highly recommend this book. And anybody who asks me about how to structure their business or fire people, staffing issues, whatnot, I definitely refer them to this book. This is something that's going to be sitting on my desk in my backpack that I take with me everywhere, and I reference it anytime I have any problems. I actually use this book to turn those problems into opportunities. All right, the second book that has really changed the game for me this year is the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. Can't believe it took me so long to pick this book up and read it, but essentially the 10X Rule is that you, number 1, set targets and goals 10 times higher than you think you are capable of achieving, and then you take 10 times the amount of effort and actions required, or than you think are required to achieve those results. So this is really simply changed my mindset around what I'm capable of doing. And I've implemented this strategy in a number of different areas of my life, and I need to do even more to implement this line of thinking. But every place that I have applied this, whether it's my fitness, here with the podcast, or many other places in my life, it has really just blown the top off of what I thought I was capable of doing. And I really recommend that you guys take this book and just apply it, just do it. And probably the favorite part of this book for me was towards the end of the book, Grant Cardone lays out 32 attitudes or traits of successful people, and this particular section of the book is something that I commonly refer to when I need some sort of motivation, or if I'm feeling down on myself, I need a little pick-me-up. I thumb through this section of the book and always find a gem that uplifts me. I definitely recommend you check out this book for sure, and also check out everything else that Grant Cardone is doing. He breathes pure fire and positivity every time he talks. Another good book is his book, Sell or Be Sold. Check that one out too. And the last game-changing book that I wanted to talk with you guys about is Multipliers by Liz Wiseman and Greg McKeown. Might know him from his book Essentialism, and also have had Greg on the show. So if you're interested in learning a little more about Greg, you can go back and listen to that episode at kenyonziska.com, Essential. But the Multipliers book that he helped co-author has really helped me reframe my thinking around how I influence people and how I interact with people. Essentially, this book compares and contrasts two different types of leaders and influencers. Either you are a diminisher or a multiplier. Essentially, what a diminisher is someone who is so self-absorbed in their own work and in their own intelligence that they hold others around them back and keep them from reaching their highest potential and keeping them away from their greatest point of contribution. Whereas a multiplier, on the other hand, helps other people realize their potential by asking them critical questions, by giving them opportunities to succeed, creating a safe environment where they can fail forward, instead of creating an environment where it is dangerous and a negative thing to have failures. So this Multipliers book I highly recommend, and along with the other two books that I highlighted here today, and would like to know what you guys think of these books. If you guys do decide to read them, I think they're definitely worth the time it takes to read each and every one of them, and hope that you guys take the opportunity to do that. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. Again, encourage you guys to head over to our Facebook group at kenyonziska.com/group and join in the conversation there. Talk about these very books there. And also, if you're interested in working a little closer with me and taking these very topics and these books to an even deeper level, you can join us in our Infinite Results Mastermind group. It's a very tight-knit group of guys who are implementing the strategies and the ideas and the topics that we're talking about here on the show. And you can apply to be a part of that program at kenyonziska.com/results. And if you want to be placed on the wait list right now for my one-on-one discipline coaching program, you can apply for that as well and be one of the first to know when a slot opens up. You can apply at kenyonziska.com/discipline. All right, guys, thanks again for tuning in, and I will talk with you again soon.